Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Erica B, and today we're going to be reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 17, Episode 6 and 7. I'm sorry. So, what had happened was, right, I got behind doing my little reviews with Lauren and Orion, to be perfectly honest. I felt like I needed to walk y'all through the things in order to fully understand my perspective. And so that took a lot of energy out of me, believe it or not, because I'm new to editing and stuff, right? It's my birthday week, a week before Christmas. I got 2 children running me wild, a full-time job. I lost track of time, okay? In the midst of my organized chaos, right, I still have been monitoring the growth of this channel and reading y'all's comments, and y'all are just so sweet. Thank you so much for all the words of encouragement and the comments of support. I really do appreciate it. It make me want to find the hours in a day. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, like, it make me, I gotta figure something out because I want to give you more content and catch up. Okay, so I want you to watch this video, follow me, okay? Remember, everything we see and hear is a part of the bigger plan. So if you don't watch this video, when I finally do watch 8 and 9, you ain't gonna know what's going on, right? There has been some shifting in the atmosphere on these 2 episodes. Maybe some things y'all didn't catch that I really want to share with y'all and see what y'all think, okay? Another thing. Please do not drop any 8 and 9 tea in my comments under this video, okay? Wait until you see that I have uploaded 8 and 9 first. Why? Because I have not watched them. I know. Am I a real fan? I have not watched them. I don't watch them until I record my review, and then I'll go ahead and watch them. Why? Because I don't want to be like the experts, right? Going back, recording stuff, pretending like I have all this foresight and foreshadowing, and I really don't, okay? So I don't watch the show or anybody else's reviews until I record my own, okay? I want to keep my perspective as fresh and as truly mine as possible without influence, all right? So that's why, okay? So yeah, do me that solid. Don't spill no tea till you see I have uploaded 8 and 9, and then I will be happy to yap with y'all, okay? Yapping is what my kids call what I do when I'm talking to an inanimate object like this camera, right? They be like, "Mama yapping again." So it just kind of stuck, okay? Y'all also ate your girl up in them comments about indigenous. It's cool, like, it's all love. Listen, I am not uneducated. I just don't regularly use the word indigenous, and so that's why I was struggling to get it out at my normal talking pace. Your girl got it down now, indigenous, okay? It was never like any intent to like be disrespectful to the indigenous community or anything like that. It just took me a while to catch on. When I was recording, I kept pronouncing it indigenous, and slowing down to get it out correctly originally, it was causing me to lose my train of thought. So I had to make an executive decision to just go ahead and mispronounce it and apologize later. So that's what I did. But anyways, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Like the video. Liking the video helps trigger the algorithm to suggest my videos to viewers just like you who may enjoy watching the show. I don't want to hold up this review any longer than I already have, so let's get into it. This review will be organized least problematic couple to the most problematic couple, okay? And that's going to change week by week, just so we're clear, all right? Listen, I can't be like the experts going from this couple, that couple, this couple, that couple. I'm not Orion. I can't be going back and forth. So with that being said, this week, the couple with the least amount of BS is going to be, surprisingly, Cameron and Claire. Okay, now on my review on episode 5, they was actually second from the last. We left off with Claire being stank, Claire being critical, Claire constantly judging his clothes, Claire not able to effectively communicate. Claire maintaining 6 feet COVID restrictions. Listen, Claire was on one, okay? Then we had Cameron with these weird old horny grandpa jokes. With that being said, on this episode, we see these two go on another excursion, and it's like a splatter paint or something like that, okay? As suspected, Claire is confused. She don't know if they attracted to each other or not. Remember I told y'all in my last review, if they would just go ahead and tell each other that they are attracted and into each other, that they would be way better off. I can see Cameron liking Claire, but not having feelings for Claire, if that makes sense. Because to be honest, at this point, Claire ain't gave this man nothing to have feelings for her about. You know, they've been, basically handling each other like associates. Cameron is focused on splatting this paint. Vincent Van Gogh, he has to get it right. And I'm kind of confused because ain't the point of it is to make like an imperfect masterpiece, I guess. But anyway, I stand Claire interrupting his focus with some spontaneity. I mean, somebody had to do something to shake things up, to help change the vibe of the honeymoon. And it did work. Cameron was able to break focus and really enjoy himself. Okay, they started splatting each other with the paint. Afterwards, Claire says, maybe she had some pent up energy that she needed to get out, but it's really giving Cameron has some pent up frustration that he need to get out, because he was throwing whole buckets at Shorty. Like, it was half of her face in paint. And she had a face mask on. Like, now Cameron tells us that he likes Claire. Seeing Claire smiling and laughing makes him feel like she's more attracted to him. And she is. She hasn't said it yet, but you can tell she is. Claire says that Cameron sometimes feels like a large kid. And I'm feeling like I must have missed something, because I don't know where she's getting that from. With Cameron rather, he been kind of weird to me, but I didn't get kid from him. So I noted that she said that, but I didn't see where. I mean, maybe the jokes were childish. But like I said, I noted it because, as we know, everything we hear builds onto the storyline. So yeah, she think Cameron a big kid, child. The ladies and the men, they split up. So the ladies are somewhere by the pool, and the men are supposed to be playing beach volleyball, but they end up just chatting about the women, obviously, right? So Claire tells the girlies, like, listen, she needs some advice. They're not the most physically, affectionate couple. Now remember, Cameron's love language is physical touch. And I personally believe, based on some of the things he was saying, some acts of services in there too. Remember, he said he would never really say he love you, but you would know that he do. So it's giving physical touch, acts of service together, in my opinion. Yeah, I didn't like how she tried to make it seem like it's a couple thing when it's really a Claire thing, because Cameron has made it very clear that he want to touch her. I mean, not trying to make it sound weird, but like holding hands and stuff, he is down with that. Like, she is the one who told him that she don't like that. And remember, when we thought she was going to explain it, she couldn't explain it. So she just skipped over the conversation when they first got to their suite, right? But yes, Cameron has told Claire to her face twice. He's told us in confessionals, and he even told her family, right? Her mama and her sisters, that physical touch is important to him. Had her mama clenching her pearls, honey, right? The ladies called her out on it too. They let her know, like, no, baby girl, we seen him have his arm around you before, and we have witnessed, y'all having conversations, and his body was more like inward towards you. So maybe you should, make some small, intimate gestures next time, because we seen him do it. And like, she even confessed, like, she's been so busy wondering like what he's not doing that she didn't notice those things, right? Yes, Claire, Cameron has been trying. He's not been aggressive about it, but he has been trying, sis. Claire then goes on to tell the girlies that her exes didn't want to be seen with her in public and they didn't hold her hand. This was weird to me. Is this what you call reverse psychology, Claire? Like, you tell Cameron that you don't want to hold hands when you really do want to hold hands. I don't know, because, but it's so on brand for Claire, right? Claire says things she don't mean. Cameron is telling the guys that he is really attracted to Claire, and that Claire is really good at communicating, but not good at, letting him know what she wants. And I can see that. I'm with you when you write, Cameron. In my review on episode 5, that Claire will say one thing, but her energy, her signaling will say something else. And people think that Cameron is just lost in the sauce, but no, he be reading her, and he be reading her pretty damn well, to be honest. Like, there hasn't been a situation yet where he has said something in confessionals that was off. Claire is just one of those people who can communicate very well verbally, but lacks practical application skills. Cameron has picked up on it since day one, child. It's like he only listened to half of what she say at this point. And don't think that Cameron don't be catching the shade. Now, Claire think that her and her people is the roast queens. Every time Cameron hit Claire with a one-liner, Claire be salty. So the couple link back up in the hot tub within their room. And listen, the conversation is redundant. Now, what was new was Claire in that swimsuit around Cameron. I didn't think, we would see that anytime soon, but you know what? Claire looked TF good. She really do. And Cameron knew if he want to see more of it, he better not make one stupid joke. And if you notice, he didn't. But yes, Claire looked good. In my opinion, obviously you already know, I feel like Claire had the best wedding dress, and I just feel like she just has the best style. I would wear a lot of stuff that Claire be wearing. Missed once when she went waterboarding with that ugly ass knit shirt and the mom jeans on, but other than that, Claire hasn't really missed, and I feel like it's for that reason she be judging what he be wearing. But if this couple make it, I don't doubt that Claire will get him together. I know that's how it was for me. We later see on the shuttle bus that Cameron's humor and his one-liners have no chill. Everybody can get it. It be the corniest jokes, but it be funny to be. He was looking at Emily's matted hair, talking about, oh my God, oh Lord. It is like, Cameron, please. I don't know why I was so tickled the way he was talking, and it was so funny because Claire was like, well, that'll make her feel good, but then she turned around and talked shit herself, talk about, are there critters in there? Are there creatures in the hair? It's like, Claire, don't be a hypocrite now. Yes, but he later makes another little comment when Emily was getting her tracks cut out. Come back, Brennan was saying how he was administering anesthesia, and Cameron gonna say you were administering the daiquiris. And it's given that Cameron know that Emily is a drunkard. I was so tickled because the thing about a joke is it's always a little bit of truth in it. That's what makes it funny. So it begins to rain, okay? And they're still on the shuttle bus going to their excursion. And like the rain do, the folks are getting sleepy. They getting tired. Everybody leaning on their mate. And Cameron's a pretty tall guy, so he shifts over to the single seat. Claire talking about something. Why did you go over there? He said, I want to spread out my legs. She said, you could have stayed over here. And she's kind of like telling him, like, he could have leaned on her. And he's like, he didn't know that was even an option. Remember, he been reading her. It's given the couples is low-key in competition with each other. They all make little comments, make it seem like they want to one-up the next couple. So yeah, Claire's reaction to him moving over and not leaning on her in the shuttle bus is giving performative for me. I wanted to feel like it had something to do with the girlies telling her to make small gestures, but considering everybody else was leaning on they mate, I do feel like it was performative, Claire. I ain't trying to call you fake, sis, but that's what I got from it. Cause she made a big deal out of it. Like, you could have just lay right here. Yeah, you're assuming things. Girl, you know that things ain't been this green up until now. So after getting rained out of the excursion, they go to like a sitting area. There's some light refreshments. They having their drinks, of course. And production then slid Becca some cards, and the cards have some questions that they can ask each other. Claire is asked what her biggest life lesson is, and she says that basically you need to tell people that you care about that you love them. And she references her brother John, who is one of the quadruplets. I know sometimes we forget that interesting fact about Claire, but yes, Claire is a quadruplet. John was the only boy in the quadruplets, and he ended his life prematurely. I know this is YouTube. I'm learning certain words I'm not supposed to say. That's one of them. Cameron piggybacks off what Claire said, and he says he has in the past, taken people for granted. And that was big to admit, honestly. It really was. And I feel like Claire was attracted to that type of accountability. Because the way she looked at him and she started rubbing that thigh, child, she was doing what the ladies advised her to do. Exactly. You put that hand on that thigh, let them know you feeling him, literally. So then Cameron was asked directly what is like one of the hardest things to accept about himself. And he said that a lot of his memories don't reflect who he is today. That's deep, for real. And that's tough to admit too. He refers to his parents' divorce and like how he was a troublemaker back when he was a kid. And a lot of kids don't really be on the right path when they're younger. Then they get older, they be more structured like Cameron. But I feel like it's more to that, because remember, Cameron also admitted that he had to do therapy when he was a kid. He told that to Claire. So we're not getting the whole story with Cameron, and the fact that he left all of his family in New Zealand, that's concerning for me too. Now that I'm thinking about it, you here by yourself. You took therapy as a kid. Your memories don't align with who you is. Is Cameron running from something? It's more to that. We gonna know that. We gonna know that it's more. It has to be. The weather clears. They're able to continue with their boating excursion, and it really ain't nothing to talk about on this boat, y'all. Now the next morning, Cameron and Claire is in bed. Claire's saying, every time she turned around, he was awake, and he admits that he didn't get any good sleep because his ear been hurting ever since they was playing that water, honey. And so they want to get it checked out, and it's the urgency for me. Why we not seeing this same urgency with Emily, child? Claire is getting ready to call in room service, get them some breakfast, and she recites Cameron's order back to him, which she got right. Cameron is very predictable. He's not a complicated man like people think, but I'm still gonna give Claire her props for remembering his breakfast order, just like we gave Lauren her props for remembering Orion's favorite ice cream. These two go to the resort medical, even though they couldn't help Cameron, because he needed a specialist, which makes sense. They probably don't even have the tools to get in there real good, because at first when he said he heard a pop, I thought it was ruptured. But they sent him somewhere off the resort. Claire can't go, she got her meeting. Okay, so Cameron very swiftly is whisked away, and there's no Emily in sight. Little ASMR for y'all. I got that from my daughter too, right? So she's been watching ASMR since she was a baby. Whenever she's next to something and she got her little press-ons on, she be ASMR. It rubbed off on me. My 7-year-old is rubbing off on me, okay? But anyway, back to what y'all came for. Later that night, Cameron shows back up. He's tardy, but He doesn't come empty-handed. He has a very beautiful rose arrangement for Claire. A girl like Claire, she is loving that attention, child, and she is loving them roses. And kudos for Cameron. Remember, y'all, I was calling him out for not being chivalrous in my episode 5 review, okay? And I was saying that it's kind of hard for Claire to build this emotional connection with him because he's not a gentleman. So, you know, he told me, didn't he, child? When he get back, y'all, he confirms that he do have an ear infection and that he was given antibiotics. Okay, so that's good, okay? Now, the nurse and me, after I seen him with that wine, I said, child, Cameron, you know you ain't supposed to be drinking alcohol while you taking antibiotics, sir. That's a no-no, okay? Not only are you making the medicine less effective, but you're at risk for more side effects, nausea, vomiting, stomach pain, and in severe cases, some liver damage, okay? So this is me telling y'all, you know I gotta add a little bit of my nursing in the video, okay? Don't be drinking alcohol while you on antibiotics. Claire is talking about how, you know, she can be reactive sometimes and, you know, she needs to chill out. And Lauren agrees that she is the same way. And Claire laughs about it and says, you know, and that's why you're my soul sister. I just don't know what it is about white women and microaggressions. Like, it's like it's second nature to them. You know, we see another microaggression in this episode when Emily keeps referring to her matted hair as dreadlocks. Okay? Yes, it's a microaggression. And for the folks who don't know what it is, a microaggression is an unintentional or intentional, subtle, indirect, discriminatory statement or act. Okay, so I'm not saying she did on purpose, but I do find it odd that white women in general, they just have a way of saying microaggressions, not knowing that they're saying it, but continuing to do it. It's very weird to me, okay? Claire, you're being weird. If you really mess with Lauren, that's just your sister. Just take the soul out of it. Like, come on now. So the next morning is the day that the couples are gonna get ready to go back to Denver, and Claire and Cameron are in the bed. They're just chatting, reminiscing on their first flight together when they made it to Mexico, and how Cameron left old girl in that airport, and you know, he's telling her that he's gonna be more aware this time around, and they're both giving each other the benefit of the doubt. Next up is Brennan and Emily. We left off with Emily following Brennan's lead, hoping that it will lead her to consummation. Now, I done told y'all already, I feel like they've already consummated this marriage, but you know, not that Emily care, Brennan do. And Brennan's trying to, you know, save this girl's reputation. We left off with Emily busting up her hand or her wrist. Emily letting us know she make that money, but she don't know how to manage it. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. Emily and Brennan go on another excursion, and today is flyboarding, which actually looks really cool, right? And Emily is icing her hand the whole time they driving to the excursion, y'all. Like, it looked bad. I'm not understanding, you know, why this girl has not went to go see the resort medical to go get it looked at. That is really bothering me. Like, girl, you doing everything but what you supposed to be doing, and it's giving dominant hand. It's her right hand. Now, I suspect it's because she don't want to slow Brennan down on their honeymoon, but you know, Austin is handling it pretty well as he's dealing with Becca. I want y'all to notice, okay? So if you go back, Emily had two low pigtails in her hair when she went to go flyboarding. Now, obviously her hand is busted, so the braids wasn't very tight, okay? They were kind of loose. Another thing, Emily is a fake blonde. The roots tell it all. We done met her whole family. The sister, mama, cousin, daddy, they all brunettes. The salt water didn't expose my good sis for having Britney Spears extensions in the back. So you have the chemicals from the bleaching of her hair and the extensions themselves, the two ponytails, the salt water. You have gravity from taking her up and down in the air, and in the, you know, the momentum of her smashing into the water. Y'all, all of this contributed to Emily's hair being matted. I want y'all to keep that in mind as I move forward, okay? So Brennan is telling us how proud he is of Emily for, you know, pushing through and trying something new, and, you know, he's looking forward to more firsts with her. And I'm just like, child, your wife has a busted hand. Like, who cares about flyboarding? I know you said you've been wanting to do it for forever, but like, your wife's hand looked like she wearing a baseball glove. Y'all, this was really a red flag for me on Brennan. Like, your wife is suffering. She's in pain. She's icing her hand constantly so that she can keep up with you. Like, why are you not taking her health serious? And, you know, Emily, why are you not taking your health seriously, child? Emily tells us that, you know, things are normal. In fact, it's so normal she's been seeking out, you know, issues. I don't know what's up with these women testing these men, seeking out conflict. Emily goes on to tell the girlies that her hair has been in dreads since that morning. And listen, all the white girls is laughing, right? The camera quickly, swiftly, without hesitation, pan right to Lauren. The camera pan right to Lauren, okay? Go back and watch it. This is not a dramatization. The camera went straight to Lauren. And I know y'all probably wondering, Erica, what you getting out? Spit it out. I'm about to tell you. So listen, so since Lauren has been on this show, right, sharing her culture with the girlies, right, one of the main aspects of Lauren's culture since she's been on the show is sharing black hair care with the viewers, right? From switching the hairstyle up, you know, she let us know that she did her own twist out for her wedding, which was beautiful, okay? She did a damn good job, okay? To the edges, laying of the edges, to the bonnet buddies, right? A lot of the culture Lauren has been able to share with us has been black hair related. Follow me. Now, my good sis also mentioned things like she celebrated Kwanzaa, she went to all black private schools, you know, the family was playing spades. We saw other things a part of black culture in the show, but mainly it's been black hair care. Now, when Emily mentioned that her hair was in dreads, the camera panned to Lauren. Why? Because they were expecting Lauren to educate the folks on what I'm about to educate y'all on right now. Child, your hair is tangled and matted. Your hair is drenched in salt water, bleached, full of chemicals that all reacted together to make your hair look like that. Listen, we're in agreement that you don't find your hair right now to be desirable. In fact, you dislike your hair in the state that it's in so much that you let a kitchen cook at the resort cut your extensions and your hair out with eyebrow scissors. You are insinuating that your hair is not desirable. You're insinuating that locks, dreadlocks, dreads look as bad as your hair do right now. And yes, it is a microaggression. Ain't no way past it, okay? It is. I done told y'all what the definition is, and that's what we are seeing right now. And let me tell you, production clocked it, and Lauren missed it. Orion would never. He would have never missed the opportunity to educate the girlies on something like that. Listen, just 6 short months ago, and I'll insert a picture right here, your girl was a lock girly, okay? And my locks ain't never looked like that shit that's on Emily's head, okay? Never. They were full, they were healthy. No chemicals have ever been added to my locks or my hair right now. I've never had bleach, dye, or any of that stuff, okay? They were growing, they were thriving, they stayed neat and manicured, okay? Emily, you know, one of the young ladies who reviewed the show as well, she mentioned something about Lauren being fake woke, and it is given that, but Lauren never said she was woke. But yeah, it is given that, because how the hell you missed that? Like, child, Even the soul sister one, like, girl, you just missing microaggressions left to right, child. Orion would never. Listen, Emily's karma came real quick, okay? Because when he was cutting out them Britney Spears extension, he cut out a lot of her hair. And now when my good sis get back to Denver, she got to get a can I talk to the manager Bob or something, because he cut out a chunk of her hair. Get to the boat. It's Emily and Brennan's turn to have the producer provoke conversation. Brennan is telling Emily that, you know, he wouldn't want to do this process with anybody else, that he's getting the best friend out of it, and she is earning his trust even though she's not in the circle yet. Knowing what I know now, is giving performative for Brennan for me. I could be wrong. She says that she's excited for the real life when they get back home. And Brennan says that it'll basically be the same except without palm trees. It's giving something must have happened between now and where we know he start acting weird. Otherwise, it's giving performative. Later at dinner, Emily says she wants to take their conversations to the next level, okay? So she wants to talk about religion, and she lets us know that she is Catholic, and then he tells us that he's Jewish. Okay, so we got two different religions here, right? She says that she is a fake Catholic and she doesn't mind converting because she doesn't want her children to be raised Catholic because it's like culty or what have you. She said it, not me. Now, Jews, tap in, you know, if you're here, because it's to my understanding that the children can only be Jewish if the mother is natural born Jewish, meaning her mom was a Jew, so that makes her a Jew. And the reason they do that is because father is always a question mark, right? But the woman, you can follow her family tree. Emily can convert, but even then the children still are not natural Jews, even though Brennan is Jewish, right? So the kids later in life, they will have to choose to be Jewish too, because they won't be naturally. Sounds confusing? I'm sorry, but listen, I say all that to say this should have been considered in the vetting process. The experts are wrong. Now we have a couple who has two different religions. Even though she's willing to convert, I mean, she shouldn't have to, right? She should have come to that conclusion on her own accord. And if, you know, being Catholic was so culty, why are you saying it in present tense? Why have you not converted already, Emily? Come on now. Come on now, girl. Brennan, he fine, girl. He ain't that fine. That's why I feel like they've been humping. This is where I gotta punch on the experts real quick, because how the hell did y'all let this happen? How are y'all vetting these people? Because why the hell would you put two people with two different religions together? This is something that is very important to a marriage. Pastor Cal, you have a doctorate degree in divinity, so he know about every religion. He studied every religion. So I'm not understanding how he did this. I just feel like they need a real matchmaker on the show during the selection process. Like, no more casting directors. I know y'all like to tussle and y'all like drama, but no, y'all need real matchmakers, like people. This is what they do for a living, because y'all are not it. Pastor Cal, you are a pastor of a non-denomination Christian church and a marriage counselor, okay? Dr. Pia is a sociologist. That's what she is on the show. That's what she is in real life. What she's really known for is being a sex therapist. Dr. Pepper, yes. And then you have Dr. Pia, who is on the show being portrayed as a sex therapist, which she is. But most importantly, after doing my research, Dr. Pia is a psychotherapist. Now, I say all that to say that, yeah, you know, they need a real matchmaker. Maths, if you're watching, you know, I know I'm a small YouTuber, but you never know who your video can get sent to. Listen, get a real matchmaker. Everything that these experts do, everything that they got all these letters and certifications for, it's only good for these couples after they're married. You need somebody who really know how to vet people. I don't know how y'all see this, but this is arranged marriage, and cultures that participate and endorse arranged marriage, they vet very thoroughly. Okay, listen, they make sure that they are the same religion or the wife is willing to convert, which in this case Emily is. Okay, but what else do they look at? They look at finances. Some of these cultures, you got to show them up to 5 years in tax returns before that man let you marry his daughter, right? They look at education. They look on both sides of the family. Is there chronic illnesses, right? They don't want to carry nothing into their bloodlines. They look at reputation and lifestyle. They look at all of this stuff before they let you just marry their family member. I say all that to say, yes, this is an arranged marriage, and these people are trusting the experts to vet for them, literally. And I just don't feel like they're doing them any service, putting two people with two different religions together. Now, what if Emily was someone like Orion, who is just stuck in his ways and his way of life, and she wasn't willing to budge on being Catholic? Then what? In the past, we have seen maths matching these girls with men who don't make no money or who don't have their own place. These men that have been on this show who don't even have a real job. Y'all, they had Michael pretending to be a yoga instructor whole time. He cleaning the place. Like, yes, they really don't do their due diligence, child. Y'all matching people over weird ass personality traits and fashion, like they style, how they look next to each other. Like, get it together for real, because I'm gonna call y'all out every time. The next day they playing games on the resort, you know, Emily and Brennan, and Emily asks Brennan if he's having fun. And it was kind of weird to me, like, why she asked, because I saw him having fun. Like, he was giving her praise. They were like legit being competitive and playing together. So it threw me off when she asked too. But what also threw me off is how he reacted when he thought that the cameras was not around. And you know what? It's giving Brennan must be acting a different way on camera and off camera, because why would the cameraman even have, or, you know, the producers have them think they're not recording anymore, and they are, you know. And I can confidently say that Brennan had malicious intent when he questioned her, like, you know, am I having fun? Like, why would you ask that? Because he was playing with his mic first before he said it. So he was trying to make sure it wasn't on or whatnot. But yeah, it was very weird. It was. And Emily quickly apologized. She's like, I'm sorry, I was just joking. But he didn't take it as a joke. It was not that serious. Like, and you know what? It's giving what his mother told her that he has anger issues. And so, yeah, so she's apologizing for it. And he says, no one has been able to, you know, get me upset but my parents. And so that's, you know, that's weird too, because like, what did they do? Them your parents, what did they do? Now on After Party, Lauren and Claire did say that when the cameras are not around, he talked to her like condescending, like he laughed at her. He laughed at her, not with her, and he be kind of making her feel bad. Let's not play Emily like she's some ditzy blonde. You know, she's on her honeymoon. She's letting her hair down, and she is having some drinks, and she is enjoying herself. Like, I don't think that she's dumb. I think he thinks she dumb, probably, based on what the girlies was saying on After Party. Yeah, we're about a couple's dinner by the beach, and Brennan is telling everybody that his honeymoon went better than he expected. Emily says that she's sarcastic and that she's gonna work on it, that, you know, she needs to be more aware of the things she say and how it affects them, you know, her and Brennan. And this kind of threw me for a loop, because honestly, I didn't feel like what she said was that serious. I felt like Brennan overreacted. It was something so small, you know what I mean? But yeah, I didn't really see where she would need to apologize for anything or why she feel like she needs to watch what she say. Other than what I now know based off what the girlie said on After Party. I haven't seen her have a lot of sarcasm. Now I have seen this girl oversharing quite a bit, sharing some shit I would never share with a man. And I wish that is what she would be more aware about. But that little comment with Brennan, child, he'll be okay. He'll be okay. So the last couple is Austin and Becca. Now y'all, they was my first couple in episode 5 that was most likely to see it through and stay married. We left off with them being completely smitten with one another, like head over heels, okay? They was in a kayak and Austin was talking about how Becca floats his boat, child. We learned a little bit more about her illnesses. The two of them talked kids or possibly the lack of. So during the meetup, Becca tells the girlies that she's just waiting for the ocean to drop. So while Austin is telling the guys that things are going well with them, you know, downplaying their relationship, Becca is telling them that, you know, they haven't talked about any heavy things, you know, and that's what she's used to. When you look up the word pessimist, you probably thought you was gonna see a picture of Becca, but that's not where I was going with this. No, you will see Becca's face next to the word guilt. What Becca is feeling is guilt, and she should. Just let me cook. But remember what I said, Becca, there is some guilt there. After the meetups, they go to the hammocks, and Austin basically tell Becca, like, listen, I downplayed our relationship because I didn't want the fellas to feel bad. You know, maybe their marriages is not going as good as ours, and I get that. Listen, Austin is an empath. Can you tell? Now that I said it, can you tell? One of my earliest memories of Austin was when he was about to cry, when he was with her friends the day after the wedding. They were telling him about the surgery she had to get right before Christmas and that she had to do it alone. And remember, Austin was about to cry to the point where the male friend, had to change the subject. So yeah, that's one of my earliest memories with Austin, being an empath, basically. Yeah, he got it bad too. You'll see. Becca go on to say that, oh, so you would, you know, basically rather hurt me, and it's giving childish. Becca, you childish as hell. How did she get that? How did she get him trying to protect other people's feelings will hurt her? It's weird, and she tried to give us this weird ass analogy about extinguishing fires and stuff that didn't make sense to me, child. I didn't even write that shit down. It didn't make sense. It don't make sense why she reacting to it this way. But I told y'all, I feel like the couple's low-key in competition with each other, okay? Y'all starting to see what I see? Then I low-key felt like Becca was being a hypocrite because she's saying she feel a way about him downplaying their relationship. But Becca, you kind of said some bad shit about the relationship too when you kept talking about how you feel like things are going to go down from here. Like, you wasn't praising what y'all got going on, you know, because that's what you're insinuating that you wanted him to do. But you yourself was not even doing that, girl. So just stop it, Becca. Ugh. Inch by inch, her magic is leaving, and I'm just not seeing her as magical as I did in the beginning. Now, while they on the shuttle bus headed to the boating excursion, we see Becca attempting to detangle Emily's matted extensions, right? And in an attempt to make Emily feel better about herself, remember, Claire and Cameron was roasting her in the back seat. Becca, and I have to quote it, okay, because I don't want to get it wrong. So I told y'all I had my iPad, right? So listen, she said, well, at least her face is so pretty. My hair makes me pretty. If I ever had to go bald, this is bad news. But now I'm married, so he can't leave. I didn't like that shit not one bit. I'm gonna be very honest with you. After she made these comments, I instantly had a change of heart about Becca. You know, I knew she was a little insecure, even though she did not admit that yet. She told us she was anxious. I knew she was a little insecure about her looks. I could tell by the way a person dressed if they confident about themselves or not. And Becca's always covered, right? But anyway, it was the second comment. Pissed me off. Do you hear me? Pissed me off. And I'm going to tell you why it pissed me off. Because it's the I'm married now and he can't leave me part for me. And I can tell it hit Austin like a ton of bricks too. Him and Brennan looked at each other after the statement. I don't know if y'all caught that. And he was like, wait, what did you say? And she didn't repeat it, child. She didn't repeat what she said. See, now you showed your hand, Miss Ma'am. Becca basically came on this show sick and all, anxiety, back pain, endometriosis, ankylosing spondylitis, insecurities. And she sweet talked her way into being selected, bagged this unsuspecting empathic man. I don't know why I didn't catch it before, but I can see why this girl would be hard to date because, these health issues require a lot of attention, right? And on top of her physical ailments, mentally, Becca got a lot of shit going on too. Becca is starting to sound like a science project, am I right? So I can see why the average man knowingly would not want to be bothered with someone like Becca long term. Now we know Becca be hunching. She let us know that she do have friends who tend to those particular needs, right? But yeah, I can see why men don't bag Becca. So you done brought your ass on this show and now you feel like he can't leave you? It's giving malicious intent. I know I've been using that a lot, and I'm gonna find another synonym to use, but I feel like it do explain what we got going on here. And I feel like I'm starting to see that Becca might be the only one that genuinely had malicious intent when coming on this show. Becca and Austin link up with Lauren and Orion on the boat, and Becca lets us know she asked the experts for a genuine and normal person. And child, you know what? The irony of it all, because that's what she got. But do you think that you was deserving of somebody like Austin? I know I seem animated, y'all, but it really hit me like that. But the irony of it, you got a genuinely normal, healthy man, and he got a mentally unstable, physically ill woman. This don't benefit nobody but Becca. Now don't get me wrong, Austin is from Chicago, but he talk like a valley girl, but he's still normal, okay? He's still normal. And I know people try to hint that he might be gay. I didn't get that from him at all, so I'm not gonna entertain that idea. They both say that they're safe, and Austin says, it feels good to know that Becca has his back. Now, I ain't gonna start on Becca's back. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna take it there. I'm a good person. So Orion asks, do they have any fears that things will change once they get back to Denver? Austin is optimistic. He says that he don't have any expectations and he thinks things will go well. Becca says she's an overthinker and she be thinking about all the things that could go wrong, but also what are all the things that could go right. And Becca, girl, that's one thing about, somebody who has emotional issues as well, like mental health problems, that once they start showing their hand, they can't stop. And this is benefiting Austin, and I hope he's catching it. Now, remember I told y'all, don't give me no 8 and 9 tea because I have not watched it yet, but I feel like it don't stop here, okay? The next morning, they get up and they have breakfast on the balcony, and Austin asks Becca, is there anything that she want to ask him, right? And now remember, the other couples who have asked this question, it always ended up bad, right? Cameron asked, what's that child name? Claire. Is there anything she want to ask him? Remember, it led to her insinuating that his job is boring. Remember when Orion asked Lauren, is there anything she want to ask him? It led to him confessing to saying the N-word and the whole R-word conflict. Now, we ain't heard Brennan ask the question yet, but judging on how he be acting, child, I don't want to hear his answer. I don't know what it's going to lead to, child. But yeah, Austin asked, is there anything she want to ask him? And she brought up religion. And basically, he laughed it off and said he don't know what that is, child, that he don't want to talk about it right now. And they don't talk about it right then and there. Later on the beach, Austin brings up Becca's exes being avoided. And he's just trying to make it clear to her that that is not what's going on with them two right now. Becca says she's used to having those heavy, those serious serious conversations at the beginning. And she goes on to let us know that she grew up Jewish, but she is agnostic now. So a person that is agnostic, they don't believe in nothing. They just believe that we just here, and that is that. There's nothing deep to it. They don't believe in deities or anything like that, right? My philosophy class was very interesting, y'all. So I was in class with a girl who was agnostic, and when asked about what her theory on death was, she described it as just a permanent loss of consciousness, like a whole bunch of nothing, kind of like before you was born. And I don't really have anything else to say about it, but I thought it was interesting. So I wanted to share with y'all. I mean, that's the only person I've ever knowingly interacted with and listened to that was agnostic. And I thought it was an interesting theory. I'm Christian. I believe in the latter. But yeah, I did think it was interesting. She was a very interesting girl, just like Becca. Now, what I didn't like was Austin's response to it. Probably because I'm Christian too. But he goes on to say that he's just plain old Christian. Now, I didn't take Austin to be no Bible thumping, pew hopping, tambourine slapping Christian, because I am not, right? But I do feel like because of Becca's response, he felt the need to, downplay his belief because she don't have any. And I don't like that because, like I told y'all, Austin is an empath. And I don't like that for him. It's just not right. I don't blame Austin. I blame the experts for putting him in this situation. Becca is a really nice girl, and they do have a lot in common. But this is just not what this man signed up for. This is the second couple that has two different religions, y'all. Very, very careless on the experts and casting directors' part. Becca tells Austin basically that, it's so much that she can look past in this relationship, I guess because they got so much in common, that it hasn't been that way in her other relationships. Now, I'm not trying to say Becca is desperate, but she is moving real dirty. And it is giving, she trapped him. Austin did not sign up for this. He did not sign up to be someone's emotional support personnel. He didn't sign up to be somebody's caregiver. This is a lot. While they were on the beach with the couples for dinner, Becca tells them that she asked for someone who has a sense of humor, which we know Austin has, right? And she said she didn't know she was going to end up with the weirdest puppy alive, basically. When I was watching the show earlier, I noticed some things about Austin's personality, but I didn't include him in my episode 4 video because I like Austin. I felt like he's innocent, and what I had to say, I at the time didn't feel like it would be well received. I felt like people probably would have thought that I was being degrading to Austin, so I didn't mention it then. But considering this comment from Becca, I will say it now. What I noted about his personality is it is that of like a Labrador. I know, follow me. Y'all ain't never heard someone use that phrase like, oh, he's like a Labrador, she's like a Labrador. But let me cook. I'm gonna make it make sense in a second, okay? The next day, they're in their room and they're talking about, they're about to go back home to Denver and, just talking about how things are gonna be. Austin is letting Becca know, like, look, sis, you're messy in this hotel, but when we get back home, this is not acceptable, okay? Becca then goes on to say that she's excited to, see how she's gonna be able to show up for him, and she follows up asking him how he's going to show up very specifically emotionally for her. For me, that was a red flag. Baby, listen, you know how newborns don't really start crying till they get home from the hospital? That's what Becca is giving me. Becca is giving me, I'm gonna show my ass when I get back to Denver. I'm laughing to stop from crying because I feel bad for Austin. I feel like shit about to hit the fan with Becca and her emotions, her mental health. Like, I feel like things is about to really turn up when they get to Denver. But remember, don't give me no tea, y'all. I ain't watched it yet. But yeah, the question was weird. It was a red flag for me. And Austin didn't know how to answer it. How is he supposed to answer it when you know, from what we see, that he ain't really seeing her being super emotional. We are seeing her be a little pessimistic. And like I told y'all earlier in this video, yes, she's being pessimistic, but I feel like this is how she is expressing her guilt, because she know what she did. She know how she played Married at First Sight. Her making these negative statements about their marriage is how she is expressing her guilt. This is where I get back to my Labrador analogy with Austin, okay? So Austin is very fun. He's very lovable, sociable, right? But at the same time, Austin is very people pleasing. Yes, and he's very gentle in nature, and he do love companionship. That sound like a Labrador? Okay, yeah. Now, Becca called this man a puppy, and you know, it's giving emotional support animal. It really is. Oh, I have to put it like that, but that's what it is giving for me. You know, she didn't took, and you know, it also is giving Stockholm syndrome, especially for somebody that is an empath like Austin, right? Austin, you are a victim, honey. You have been taken from what you know, the life you had before, and back home, she got you on this honeymoon, honey. And Becca is the captor, okay? And just like with Stockholm syndrome, the victim usually empathizes with the capturer, okay? It's a little extreme for like an example, but people don't realize a lot of puppies do experience that, being pulled from their parents and their siblings to go into these strange people's houses, and then they learn to love them. Yes, it is very common. And it's the "now we're married so you can't leave me" part that kind of validated my analogy and how I felt about Austin's personality, right? Austin, you are a victim, honey. And when you get back to Denver, I really hope you go back to surrounding yourself around other people that matter in your life, like your parents and your friends. And I hope you sit at the table and you give them all the tea so that they can rally up with you and get you out of this marriage to Becca. I know it's a very different opinion I had literally just one episode ago, but I'm telling you, Becca is wrong. Becca is dirty. Austin, you did not sign up for this, and I'm gonna need you to get this marriage annulled. It never happened, okay? Because Becca is a fraud, and that can be a term for an annulment, okay? Becca has too much baggage, and she knows she has too much baggage, which is why she came on this show and married in this manner, okay? Listen, Suzanne, Austin's mom, she trusted you with his heart. And I'm kind of wishing she would have been a little more firm with Becca, because Becca, she know how to talk her way out of some shit. But anyway, that's all I have for this review, y'all. I'm gonna try to get 8 and 9 out soon. I can't promise it's gonna be out before 10. I really wish I had more time to get them out more frequently for y'all, but I'm gonna be traveling in a day or two back home to Detroit for the holidays. I get to hug my mama, y'all. I'm so excited, and just hang out with my siblings. So that's why. And I don't think any of them got a computer where I can edit. I'm not sure. If they do, then it might come out sooner, but I can't make no promises. I'm sorry. But I do thank y'all for sticking with me and watching the whole review. Tell me what y'all think about some of the things that I said, especially about the whole Austin and Becca thing. What do you think about my Labrador analogy and the whole, the microaggressions? Did y'all peep those during the show or not? And do y'all think, Cameron and Claire might make it? I will say this, I don't know if it's a spoiler alert or not, but when I saw the after party, Claire had a bigger ring on her finger. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know if it was a statement piece, because they be having them dental floss bands. I don't know if it was a statement ring or what, but I noted that it was a bigger ring on that finger, and she was trying to cover it like this. So tell me what y'all think, okay? I'll see y'all in the comments, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.